there were so many that lost their businesses during that time. I wanted to introduce Debbie to our audience, and she also wrote a chapter in The Amazing Woman. It's Your Time to Emerge, and this beautiful book. It's on how women are discovering and harnessing the infinite power to manifest their evolving purpose. And I think so many of us are coming to a place of very keen awareness that it is time to speak up, to share our stories, to shine the light for those that are in a place that I think they're hearing their calling to, but not quite so sure which way to go with it and what to do about it. And it's by more of us standing up and sharing our stories and sharing our wisdom that we make a big difference in the world that we're living in. And, you know, we've had a tumultuous year, just everything that our world has faced in this past year. And yet I think it created deeper awareness of the times that we're living. So I'd like to give the proper introduction to Debbie. She's a host and executive producer of the podcast Dream Power Radio and the Dream Power TV show on Roku and Amazon, much like the show. She's incorporated the knowledge gleaned from her professional network as a wife and mother in her Dream Life coaching practice. In addition to her private coaching, Debbie has been the co-owner of a film and video production company, which was instrumental in the production of dozens of films, including the groundbreaking film, What the Bleep Did We Know? Wow, that's amazing. And the spiritual documentary, Dreaming Heaven. I have not heard of that one, Dreaming Heaven. Is it available on any of the major shows, or where is it available?
It's probably available. I mean, that was done about 10 years ago, so it's probably available on YouTube, I would imagine.
Awesome.
It was out in distribution at the time.
Ooh,
actually, the movie that was indirectly but instrumental in my discovering dream work.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this story. But you're also the best-selling author of over 20 novels. That is amazing. I did not know that. This whole time we've been working with Marsh to get this book published. I did not know that. And that includes the Sweet Valley High series. And she credits her dream work to inspire her to return to writing. And her recent books are 101 Dream Dates, How to Say I Love You to the Most Important Person in Your Life, Yourself. Wow. And the bestseller, It Came Out of My Vagina, Now What? That sounds like a fun one. Co-written by Betty Chase. She's also featured in the books Chicken Soup for the Soul, Dreams and Premonitions, My Creative Thoughts, Recipes for Living, Careers from the Kitchen Table, Dancing in the Unknown, Dreams That Change Our Lives, and the Amazon bestseller, Raising the Bar, Volume 5. And now, last but not least, this one. Whoops, I can't ever figure out how to get there. Debbie, amazing. And you're also a member of the International Association for the Advancement of Dreams and the Holistic Chamber of Commerce. And I didn't even know there was a Holistic Chamber of Commerce. So welcome to our show. And, you know, your chapter was on unvoiced confidence. I'd like to hear the story of how this journey has been for you and how this transpired, all these beautiful things. I know when I read your chapter, I was so amazed at the things that you've accomplished, but your story on how this all began.
Sure. Well, I guess, often you write about the things that you need the most. And for most of my life, I was very unconfident. And I talked myself, yeah, I was my own worst enemy. I talked myself into thinking that everything was always my fault, whether it was or not. Uh, I was just to blame for everything. And I couldn't go out to be a success, or be the success that I could be, because I kept holding myself back. I would say, no, I can't do this. I can't go after this. There's so many more people who are better than I am. So many people more talented. So many more people, more experienced. And who am I? Why would anybody want to hire me or pay attention to me or anything like that? And it took a lifetime to really realize that this was just a horrible, negative, bad story that I was telling myself. And it was a long process to get to that. And you mentioned that I was involved in the movie What the Bleep Do We Know? My husband and I were hired to do that movie as filmmakers. We had a post-production company. We were hired to do the post-production on the movie, so we weren't involved with the actual, making of the movie. So when I was watching the movie during this process, it was just like there's a whole world out there I had not realized was out there.
Amazing.
The basic themes that they were talking about, like, you have the power to control yourself and control your destiny, was a revelation to me, because I was the ultimate fatalist. Things were the way they were. I was dealt a hand of cards and I had to play it out the best I could. And there was nothing I could really do about that. So when I saw what this movie was telling, it just shook me. It was like, wow.
Such a revelation
It was a revelation.
Yeah.
And at the time, you could look at me from the outside and say, oh, I'm a successful person. I had a very happy marriage. I had, this lovely company we had, great kids and, nice lifestyle. You think, oh, everything's great. But inside, I was just racked with this thought that, there's something else there. There's something that's missing. And I didn't know what it was. And that was the question. So for me, when Bleep came into my life, it led me to ask a lot of questions. Didn't really provide, the answers, but it led to a new path that I could follow. And I spent about 10 years, reading books, going to seminars, looking at all kinds of different things. And, little by little, got this understanding that, yes, I can do more with myself. But again, I didn't get that aha moment, as we like to say. And it was working on this film, Dreaming Heaven, which was a documentary that my husband was hired to direct, and I was involved in the production side of it. And one of the people who was a participant in the movie was this woman named Kelly Sullivan Walden. You didn't know what she did in the movie, because the movie was about this trip to Teotihuacan, Mexico. It was a spiritual journey. So the movie was all about the journey. I met her after we were involved in the production, found out that she was a dream expert and was at the time starting up a dream circle. And if you don't know what a dream circle is, it's a group of people who meet on a regular basis to talk about their dreams. And she led the circle, and in the process educated me in what dreams can do for us. And it was very much along the philosophy of a dream worker I later read and studied, named Jeremy Taylor, who said that all dreams reflect inborn creativity and the ability to face and solve life's problems. And that's just an amazing concept if you think about it, that our dreams, which are things we all dream, whether we remember our dreams or not, we all dream, and that these dreams, which come from ourself, come from our own mind or subconscious, whatever, however you want to define it, can help us discover things about ourselves that we are not aware of in our conscious life.
And sometimes we're not quiet enough in our conscious life to pay attention to what those are. No. And yeah, I have this recurring dream all the time. I edit a lot of books, and every night there's the same book that I'm editing, and I can't figure out whose book it is. It is just so funny, and it's like so real. And I've got to go and talk about it, and I'm like, I don't even know which book that is when I wake up in the morning.
Maybe off camera we can talk about it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah,
do some analysis of it. But anyway, after I met Kelly and got involved in these dream circles, I was seeing through the dreams that other people were having what dreams could do. There were people in the circle who at the time, were having relationships and got, answers to why the relationships weren't working through their dreams. There are people who changed their career path because of dreams they were having. And, my dreams, I, at the time, was not quite sure, what message they were giving me. I was getting interesting images and ideas that were showing me that there was more to me than I was letting myself show. Then I got so fascinated with it that I decided to take up her study program to be a dream life coach. And at the time I started, I wasn't so much interested in being a coach as just to learn more. And it was a very comprehensive program that just touched on all different realms of dream work. During the course of this program, I had a dream that I like to say it's a dream that changed my life. And it showed me that we could do anything. I could do anything. I could break out of, this little shell that I had put myself into and express myself and be the person I wanted to be. So when I was exploring this whole idea of how dreams can, affect us and give us the ability to face any problem in our life, I was thinking about the whole idea of confidence, because as I became more aware of my dreams and took the meanings of them, I was finding I was rediscovering my own confidence. And, my confidence grew to the point where I said, I'm getting so much out of these dreams. I'm not just going to keep this to myself. I want to help others find the meanings behind their dreams as well. So I finished the program, became a certified dream life coach, and I've been doing that since. And I realized that we can use our dreams to reveal the confidence that's within us. And when I say revealing, we call it the unvoiced confidence, because the confidence has always been inside us. We were born confident. I like to give the example of when we're babies and we're learning how to walk, and we take a couple of steps and we stumble. We
keep getting back up, don't we?
We don't say to ourselves, "Oh,
I can't do that.
I can't do this. This is terrible. I'm not. I don't have the ability. I don't have the confidence to do this. I'm never going to get up and walk. I'm just going to lay down here and crawl forever." We don't do that. No, we get up. We take a couple of more steps. We laugh because it's so much fun to be doing this process. It's great. And, yes, it takes time and it takes practice, but after a while we're up and walking, because we had that unvoiced confidence, that inborn confidence that we could do this. And over time, as we got older, things happened. I like to say life happens that chipped away at that confidence.
Yes.
And it very often happens in the most innocent of ways. For example, you're you have a messy room, and your mother says, clean up your room. You're a mess. You're always going to be a mess. Or you get a bad grade on a test, and the teacher says, "Oh, you're really stupid. Or you're never going to learn this." And may have made these as innocent remarks or just in the heat of anger, and it was a passing thing. But we took those inside, and we made them mean something about ourselves that told us there was something wrong with ourselves. And over time,
it wears on us, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it wears on us.
I had an author that I spoke with yesterday, and she was telling me that when she was a little girl, the kids she had a lot of freckles on her face, and the kids used to make a teaser and say she had cow poop all over her face. And it affected her entire life. And I guess at one time her mom said that she was very homely. And she said she was like well into her 50s before she realized her true inner beauty, her outer beauty, everything, and how, that totally affected her for so long. And she likens it to like the shame that we feel, or the unvoiced confidence and the closed doors. And once we realize that how wrong those things were, and probably, kids can be pretty mean sometimes as far as how that goes, and the forgiveness on her part, which opened the doors to much greater things than what she's doing in her life now.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. These stories that we tell ourselves are so self-destructive because they do keep us from finding our power and our passion and our true selves. The sort of insidious thing about this, though, is that on one hand, they do help us in some ways. The person who was told she was stupid might have said to herself, "I'm going to show you wrong. I'm going to prove you wrong," and study and become a success despite what this was told. But on the other hand, she still is carrying some degree of sort of self-hate because of the stories that she's told herself. Even though she might be successful as in a career, is maybe lacking in what she really wants to do. Has really not discovered what she really wants to do, because this was something that she did to prove somebody else wrong, not because she wanted to do it, but because it was a matter of showing that.
Right.
So one way that we can get beyond these stories is to really discover what these self-limiting beliefs are. And sometimes we can't find them on a conscious level. You say, okay, well, what is it that is causing me not to be the person I want to be? And you might not know. You might not have that answer. But you can get the answer through your dreams. Because, and this is dealing with the nature of dreams themselves. When we dream at night, we use a different part of the brain that we use during our normal waking lives. And this part of the brain, we'll call it the subconscious, and we'll just call it the limbic system or the hippocampus, whatever, the part of the brain that is active while we're sleeping. The images, the thoughts, the symbols that come up in our dreams when we have these, they are totally devoid of these stories. They are our true thoughts. They're our true beliefs.
How fascinating.
Yeah. So the unfortunate thing about it is because we dream in symbols, we don't always understand them. And because we don't, we tend to dismiss them. And we do that at our peril, because there's so much valuable information to be had from the dreams. So
how do we start? How do we change that? How do we start remembering our dreams if we've dismissed them for a long time?
Well, the first step would be to really embody the belief that dreams are important. because most people, unfortunately, don't believe dreams are important. They just think they're, images and crazy thoughts. And probably the only time they remember dreams are when they're nightmares, because they're so vivid and scary. But we have dreams every night. We all dream between 4 and 9 dreams a night, depending on our sleep cycle. And when we take the time to believe the dreams are important, it helps us to remember them. So the first step of remembering them is to believe dreams are important. Second step is that it's a practice. If you haven't been remembering your dreams, it takes time to get into the practice of retraining your brain to remember the dreams. So what I'd like to recommend is that right before you go to bed, you make a dream declaration, which is an active, conscious idea on your part to even go as simple as saying, tonight, I'm going to remember my dreams. And write that down and put it under your pillow. So it's the physical idea of writing it and the talking it out, remembering it, helps trigger your brain to remember your dream.
How fascinating.
And like I said, this may not work the first night you do it because it's new to your brain, and
because we're not used to using that part of it.
Practice over and over, and you will. And in terms of confidence, you can tell yourself, make a dream declaration, what is holding me from finding my confidence? And when you make this declaration, the dream that you're going to have is going to give you a clue into what's keeping you from your confidence. It can reveal one of these beliefs that you may have and you don't realize you have, that is holding you back, that's keeping you from feeling the courage and the strength and being able to let go of the fears that are keeping you from doing what you want to do.
How fascinating. My brother and my sister, they both, we went through some really difficult times as a family, and both of them very actively dreamed, and they had books. They were, well, what is the meaning of this dream? And, they were using that book. They both were using books to kind of translate the meanings of their dreams. And I always found it fascinating, but I've never very seldom until recently have I even started remembering dreams, little, and even at that, not have a clue what that means, it's pretty fascinating. How about for you, Bianca? Are you an active dreamer?
Yes, I dream quite a lot. In fact, I write my dreams, the ones that are very vivid. I write them down and I go back to years back, because you forget the dreams. But I believe that like Debbie said, their dreams are like in your subconscious, you're getting this wisdom that you can use in your real lifetime, and they're always there. I find it fascinating. The dreams are amazing, and I can't wait to talk more to Debbie one-on-one about it, because it's just I just have so many dreams. I just unbelievable. And I have a dictionary. I have several books that explains the meaning of dreams, and they all say different things. But I have this really old one that is almost coming apart, but they're right on the dot. I mean, it's just like unbelievable, the meaning. So
the important thing when you are trying to figure out what your dreams mean is to always ask, what do these symbols mean to me? Because they don't always correspond to what's in a dream dictionary. Dream dictionaries were written as a compilation of hundreds of thousands and thousands of dreams that people have had, and it's been like the common denominators for what these symbols mean. But you always find that, especially if it's a very unusual type of dream, the symbol, that it may not mean what the Dream Dictionary says it means. But you might find a meaning for it that really resonates with you. So it's always important to ask that question.
Right.
So that it's in the asking of the question and then the quietness of listening, perhaps that you get the real revelation as to what what message that is bringing to you.
Yeah, I mean, there are many, many different ways to interpret or understand dreams. You know, the one obviously is to define what the symbols mean to you, and then either, you know, meditating on it, writing, just, you know, automatic writing on what this is and what it is, what the idea of the dream means, and in the process, you know, you can get answers. Talking it out with other people very much helps. There's a technique where you actually ask questions of the symbols, like they're on a witness stand, and you're, you know, the prosecuting lawyer asking the questions. You know, why are you here? What are you talking about? You know, what message do you have for me? And it's amazing how that works, because you would think it wouldn't work. You would think, I'm not going to get an answer, but you do. And it's an amazing process. There's also, when you're dealing in a dream circle, you're talking with other people, sharing your dream and you know, reflecting on it and getting insights from other people as well. There's another technique called dream theater, where you have people act out the symbols and the story of the dream, and you as dreamer look on as an observer. And again, you would think, when other people acting out the dream, what are they going to give me? It's powerful. It is a powerful process. And I've seen people just break down and cry after going through that, because it's like this amazing catharsis and revelation. It really feels like you're opening up the whole top of your brain and everything is spilling.
Like, come on, look at it.
It is. And that's why, you know, I love dream work, because there's so much that we could gain, and so much that we don't even realize it's all within us. You know, the dreams hold the answers to almost any problem that we have, if we allow ourselves the time and you know, the quiet to reveal what these messages are telling us.
So what that equates to me is the self-care that is so important, that Bianca mentioned too, is that, and you know, some of us will immerse ourselves in busyness, especially during dark times, when, you know, when we've going through tough situations. But it's the self-care and allowing that time, the quiet time, to really contemplate, to meditate, to, you know, truly take care of ourselves in whatever that means, whether that's taking baths with Himalayan salts or you know, different, whatever those things are, whether it's the quiet meditation, going for a walk, whatever, letting yourself really have the quiet time to contemplate and to really come to grips with what's really truly going on.
Right. And one of the things that actually helped me uncover my unvoiced confidence happened as the result of writing this book, 101 Dream Dates. A dream date is something you do for yourself, by yourself, like take the walks or take the bath or the meditation, whatever it is. The difference is that this thing that you do for yourself, by yourself, is something that you don't ordinarily do. So you do something that's just a little bit out of your comfort zone, a little bit unusual, and that has the effect of, besides being the time to have self-reflection and self-care and that feeling of, you know, being with yourself, you do learn to love yourself in the process, because in the process of doing something a little bit different, it's revealing and reinforcing that courage that you have, and which also encourages and reinforces the confidence. And the more you do this, the more you make this a regular practice in your life, you love yourself more, you feel more confident, you feel more energetic, your energy level rises tremendously, so you feel more creative, more loving. You know, every positive aspect emerges, you know, when you do a process like this.
Absolutely. So in the book that all three of us are co-authors in, Amazing Woman, It's Your Time to Emerge. When somebody picks up this book, Debbie, what would you hope that they would get from this?
I would hope they would see, number one, they're not alone. There is a community of women out there who are caring and loving and committed to uplifting all women, including the person who's reading the book. I would love them to see that the possibilities are out there in any aspect, because we all write about different aspects of our womanhood. And so anybody picking it up, you know, will find something to relate to in, hopefully they'll see something in all the stories, but they'll find something in one of the stories that they'll really resonate with and say, yes, I see myself here. And if this woman was able to, you know, do what she did, I can do it too.
There's so many beautiful nuggets in it. And for you, Bianca, we're just about to the close of our show.
Yeah, I think for me, I think it will be inspiring for other women to, for healing and learning. There's a lot of wisdom there. And I think it's an inspirational book in all aspects of it. And all the co-authors are amazing women. And I'm glad that I'm part of this group. And it's pretty exciting.
It is. I think all of us have grown even from the writing, just participating in this writing. We've all been able to grow. And it's like we had our celebration on the book launch day this week. And it felt like there were so many of us there just ready to lock arms, you know, to walk arm in arm in the process. And what an amazing thing to know that none of us are really alone, that there is a whole tribe of people, women that are standing up and saying, here, this is the way, you know, this is how we did it. This is how I personally did, each one of us have gone on this journey to wholeness and wellness and really standing up so that we can guide others to do the same. And that's what's important. You know, it's oftentimes the darkest times, the darkest things that bring us to the thing that we bring to the world now because of what we learned from those dark times.
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome. So this book is available on Amazon. If you look up Marcia Engel, you'll see this book, Amazing Woman, It's Your Time to Emerge. Yeah. And then, and thank you to our listeners. We will be back Monday with one more of the authors from this book, and also an expert that is coming to talk about using Amazon ads to keep that book selling. So we bring experts to the table as far as showing authors how to keep their book out there and selling. But we also bring beautiful women like this, all these wonderful authors that stand up and share their story. And with that, we are already 10 seconds over time. So thank you for being here on the show.
Thank you,
Debbie.